an incredible honor and a pleasure to be able to pour into you guys just a little bit of some of the things that I've learned over the course of the last 16 years here in this incredible profession. I have been incredibly blessed to train with some of the top and some of the best leaders in this industry. My first mentor at the time was making $100 grand a month. And I will tell you guys that when I got started at 19, I saw the vision, but I had no skill. I was in college. I was waiting tables as a waitress, and I was trying to promote a product that was incredibly expensive for my center of influence. And you gotta remember, I was like dealing with broke college kids, literally. And our product was like $40 a bottle. It was a juice product. For those of you that maybe have heard of Zango before, that was my first company. I was one of the youngest top income earners in that company. And it was a great opportunity to cut my teeth on. And so one of the things that I want to share with you is that if you are brand new to this industry, or brand new, or this is your first time in network marketing, I'm not going to lie, I'm a little jealous, because this is such an incredible vehicle. Prove It, the products, the company, the leadership, like there's just so many elements here that are being laid out for us to build truly a legacy company and $1 billion brand. And so you have a really, really unique time in business history to be able to capitalize on what is going to create, in my opinion, more millionaires than any other company in our profession has. So I wouldn't take this opportunity lightly. One thing that you'll know about me, and my team will probably validate this, is I'm not like a fluffy, lovey leader. In fact, almost to a default. It's an area that I'm working on, is being a little softer for personalities that, you know, they need. I'm kind of like a direct to the point. I don't handle excuses well. And I guess that's just because the mentors that have pulled in or poured into me over the course of my career, like excuses weren't something that were allowed. In fact, I'll never forget the last opportunity that I was building with. I had an opportunity to fly in and meet with the #1 income earner in that company. And at the time, he was not just the #1 income earner in that company, but he was the #1 income earner in our profession, period. And he held that rank as the top income earner over some of the legacy builders in our profession for over 4 years. And I was sitting in an intimate conference room, and there was 12 of us. And I came to the table with what I thought were some really incredible ideas. And I was the only female in the room, and he slammed his hand down on the desk, and he looked at me and he said, "You are so stupid." And for those of you that don't know me, I have a little bit of a fiery and almost slightly sometimes gangster attitude. And I was super offended by that. And he said, "Your thoughts, your ideas, and your opinions have kept you where you are." He's like, "Until your stack is as big as mine, then you just need to he's like, "You need to sit down and you need to shut up and you need to pay attention." And I will be very honest, a male, especially because I have abandonment issues, and somebody telling me that, it kind of really pissed me off, if I can be very honest. But he said something very valuable. There's people in this community and there's people in this company that are doing some really incredible things, and they might not know it all, but what they do know has gotten them to where they are. And this isn't a profession, this isn't a business where you sign up with a credit card with a hope and a dream. It takes work, it takes skill set, it takes continuously investing into yourself. I'll never forget that when I first got started, my mentor told me, "Dawn, you need to invest more into yourself than you do about learning your product or your compensation plan or your company, because your income will always follow your personal growth, always." And that resonated with me, because in my mind, and this might resonate for you too, was, well, you know what? I thought that how hard I worked really determined my results, right? But that is totally not the case, because your personal development is going to determine how hard you actually work. And you can work hard all day, but if you're working hard without the tools and without the equipping that's needed in order to build that foundation, your work is going to be in vain. So my encouragement to you is, if you are brand new or if you feel that you're stuck, find the resources. They're there. There's people in this profession that are outside of our company that can pour into you. There's audios, there's trainings, there's books, there's skill everywhere. Go onto YouTube and just type like how to build a network marketing business, and like become incredibly diligent and almost obsessive about self-development, because that self-development, whether it's through the platform of Prove It or through some outside sources, are going to equip you with the skill set that's needed to go grow a large business. And you've got to be patient with that skill. You have to be patient with your time. You have to be patient with your process. The only way you can fail in this business is by quitting. Like, and truly what's great about what we have with Prove It is that even if your skill set sucks, like we can all agree that there's times where our skills really suck. Like the product does a lot of the heavy lifting for us, right? So if you can learn to leverage your team, if you can learn to leverage a system while you are developing yourself, and if you can stay consistent and if you can stay diligent with the system and with your self-development, you will win 100%. You will absolutely win. So I just wanted to kind of pour a little fire on that. But Chrissy, go ahead and give me like maybe a couple of the key of some of the first questions that people are dropping, you know, in the chat, so we can get right into everything.
Okay, so it looks like a lot of people are wanting to know how to keep customers, convert customers, prospecting to get promoters, or converting people who are using other programs currently.
Okay, so let's just start with prospecting in general, because the reality is that the language and the conversation is the same, regardless if you're trying to recruit a customer or a promoter. And so here's kind of a mindset that I want you guys to take into consideration. When you look at business in general, whether it's network marketing or it's regular business, I want you to think about what, and this is interactive. So as we're talking on this, I want you guys to kind of communicate with me through the chat, because I can see some of those questions pop up. But I want you to think about when a business opens in a local market, whether it's a vehicle and network marketing or it's just a traditional business, what is the lifeline of that business, right? What is the actual lifeline? Where does the income come from? Okay. It truly comes from the customers. All right. So when we're looking at the evolution of network marketing, okay, network marketing, when it first started 50 something odd years ago, okay, with Amway, the concept wasn't to go out and try to make everybody become an entrepreneur. Okay. The reality of this is that not everybody is designed, and not everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Okay. The lifeline of your business and the lifeline of your residual income is not going to come from promoters. It's just not. It's going to come from a few key individuals that are going to drive a network or a community of consumers of the product. So there's two philosophies that I kind of live by. Do you want to get promoters? Absolutely you do. And I'm going to give you some real skill set on how to be able to do that. But I think so often, so many people get wrapped up with the idea of, I have to get business, I have to get promoters, I have to get promoters, I have to get promoters. Here's one thing I want you to keep in mind. And I'm not trying to get all spiritual on y'all, but there's a book that I read, and that book says that I will never be given more than I can handle. So some of you are asking for leaders to come into your business. Some of you are asking for business partners to join you, but you don't even know how to onboard a new promoter. So you got to ask yourself, is what you're asking for in alignment with your activity and with your current skill? Because you're never going to get more than you're ready to handle. Some of you are wanting an explosion in your business, and you don't even have enough product that if somebody were to get started today and able to hustle through an entire experience pack in a few hours, you don't even have enough product on hand to be able to get those 5 and 10 day experience packs out on their behalf. But you're saying that you want a big business. Okay, so your promoters will come when you become the leader that can attract leaders. Okay, And some of this might hurt some of y'all, because y'all are going to be sitting here saying, who the hell is this girl and why is she saying this stuff? But please just know that everything that I'm saying is in love. So you're expecting this explosion. Go focus on building a community that can get passionate about how they're feeling and develop a foundational skill set to be able to move through centers of influence. One thing that I get really excited about is when I have a customer that's fired up, and that customer is willing to give me leads, is willing to open me up to their center of influence. But I'm not trying to convert that person into a promoter if they're not ready to plug in at a high level. Some of you are just recruiting people because you feel special because you recruited a promoter. And I will tell you, based on our compensation plan, you make a lot more money on customers than you do on a promoter that's not going to go out and build a huge, massive network of customers. And some of you just asked a question about how do we get people from another gig? Well, I'm going to tell you something. I would not sign up for that class. Because if your intention is to rape and pillage another village, what's going to happen when they come and rape and pillage yours? Because you will always reap what you sow. So there's ways to nurture relationships in this profession that when the timing is right and you have proven yourself, right, or you have gone out there and proved it, right, that people will be attracted to you. People will come to you because you have stepped up and you become the leader that they're looking for. And a lot of the time, guys, it's timing. But if you plant that seed and if you focus on that relationship, you will ultimately be able to convert them when the timing is right for them and when the timing is right for you. And when you're equipped and when you're skilled and able to actually lead a team of people that have a following, right? So when it comes to the foundation of prospecting, you know, I see a lot, just by quick show of hands, like, I'm going to scroll through here, but like how many of you are leveraging right now, like social media as your only way to build this business? Like, I just want you, I'm going to flip through this page real quick. I just raise your hand real quick. If the only thing you're doing right now is using Facebook as your main form of recruiting. All right. So it's a lot of you. Okay. Which is not a problem. It's not a problem if it's done the right way. Here's what I'm seeing a lot in our community is people are just spamming the crap out of their Facebook page. And it's, oh, here we have a sale. So I'm going to take the image from the app and I'm going to post it up there. Or every day, like you're overwhelming your Facebook feed with Prove It stuff. And if I were to go to your page, like I would know that you're involved in Prove It. Like I would know because it's all over the place. Some of you have your job as Prove It, which is great. But like as a professional, if I'm researching, like I'm going to search. Like I might see that you're with Prove It, but you know what? I'm going to go online and I'm going to look and I'm going to shop because that's what people do. Right. So they may have seen it on, I can't tell you how many people have joined me as either a customer or a promoter, but they saw it on somebody else's page. And then they came to me and were like, I just like the way that I just like your energy on your page. Like you're not spammy. You don't overwhelm your stuff with your page. If you guys go look at my page, like I do once in a while post something Prove It, but for the most part, like if I do, I mention ketones. I don't mention Prove It. I don't have my name as, you know, self-employed and Prove It promoter, because when people come to me, I want them to have to ask me questions, but more importantly, I want to be able to control that conversation because he who controls the conversation always wins. So prospecting, there's a really solid acronym that I've used for my entire career. Some of you may be familiar with this, some of you might not, but it's called FORM. Okay, so if you're taking notes, I highly recommend that you are. It's F as in Frank, O-R-M, form, okay? Form. So it stands for family, occupation, recreation, message. Some of you guys are only leveraging social media and you're leaving out an entire network of people within your community because you don't know how to talk to them, right? But there's people in your day-to-day that are praying for this opportunity, and you're not talking to them because you're not being equipped with the skills. This acronym of FORM, you can use it online and you can use it offline, and you should be. And I'm going to give you some examples of what I've seen with people when it comes to online, and then what happens when they take it offline because they've created some interest and then people want to know, and then that's a lot of the time where they drop the ball, okay? So when it comes to F and O and R and M, family, so this is an opportunity that when you're talking to people, when you're in your day-to-day, you're asking them family-oriented type questions. So where are you from? You know, most people today are not where they're from. And so when somebody says, well, I'm from Colorado, awesome. Were you born there? Is that where you're from originally, or did you relocate there? No, I was born in Kansas, but I relocated to Colorado. Oh, wow, that's awesome. So how long have you been in Colorado and what brought you to the area? Oh, I've been here for 8 years. You know, we actually got relocated. My husband's job brought him here. And we really love it. Okay, so you're married. Do you have any children? You know, so like, what am I doing? I'm engaging in some family type conversation, which organically, not because I have an agenda of trying to recruit them, but because I'm trying to identify a sign. That's another acronym, SIGN, S-I-G-N, and that sign stands for strengths, interest, needs, and strengths, interests, goals, and needs. I'm dyslexic sometimes, okay? So you're looking for their strengths, you're looking for their interests, you're looking for their goals, and you're looking for their needs, okay? So if you're keeping this in your mind when you're having conversation, think of yourself as like a detective when you're talking to people. And the more information that you have, the more equipped that you are to be able to bring them through this exposure process based on what is important to them, not what is important to you. So if you're thinking of yourself like a detective or almost like a fisherman, right? So often, you know, if we were fishing and we were fishing with what we liked, right? So if we're fishing with pizza, right? Because we love pizza. So we're fishing with pizza. Well, fish don't really like pizza. I mean, some do, but they don't, right? What do fish like? Fish like worms, right? So we're going to have better results if we're fishing with what the worm is, or fishing with what the fish likes. They like worms. So if you're leading a prospect through or a customer through with their goals and what's important to them, then you're equipped with information to be able to close them when they pop up objections, okay? So when I'm asking family questions, I'm identifying things like, where are they from? Are they married? Do they have kids? I find out if they were relocated to the area, what brought them to the area. A lot of the time, that will lead me into conversation about what they do professionally, okay? So often people find out, like, how many times have you met somebody that's a nurse and you're like, oh, that's awesome. So, you know, and then you're on. But instead of stopping at like, you're a nurse, like, what kind of nurse are they? There's like a bazillion types of nurses, right? So from there, you can find out like, well, how did you get involved in nursing? Like, what led you into that profession? Okay. And these are just kind of key questions so that organically, as you're listening to them, right, you're taking notes mentally, and it will organically move people through a process. You know, one of the questions that I always ask people is like, what do you love about what you do? It's a very simple question, especially if you're looking to ultimately at some point close somebody into a business. This is going to tell you if what they like about what their job, like the things that people like about what they do professionally, almost always there will be something within our community that will correlate with that. So if somebody loves helping people, like if they're a nurse, I'm going to use a nurse as an example, and the nurse is like, you know what? Like, I really love helping people. Well, guess what? Like, Prove It is a vehicle that can what? It can help people, right? So we know that that is an interest of hers. We know that that's probably also a strength of hers, right? That she genuinely leads with her heart, and she leads with the ability to help people. Another question that I always ask people, and this is O, right? So we had F and now we have O. So these are occupation type questions. You know, how did you get started in that profession? How long have you been doing it? wow, that's a really long time. Like, you must really love what you do. Well, they're either going to say yes or no. Some people are going to be like, no, I freaking hate my job. I absolutely freaking hate it. Oh, wow. Well, do you like anything about it? Right? I always ask them, like, what do you love about what you do? Well, what do you not like about what you do? So if I was a nurse and somebody was like pulling me through this process of prospecting, or really truly just building a rapport with people, I might say, well, I love helping people. I love working with the families, and, because I work in critical care, like, it's just so, it's so empowering to be able to be there and watch a family come through like a really incredibly rough time, and then to come through on the other end and just know that I had my hands on that, on that situation, and that I was able to play a role in helping that family come through a really traumatic time. And then that's going to tell you a lot about their character. That's going to tell you a lot about their heart. And it's going to tell you a lot about the person that you're dealing with. And then if you ask them, like, well, geez, that's so incredible, like, that's super honorable. So is there anything about your job that you don't like? Yeah, the hours, I'm on call a lot. I miss a lot of holidays because of being on call. The pay's good. It's all right, but I'm capped out on like the amount of income that I earn unless I'm taking call. And then sometimes that requires me to work like 80 hours. And then I'm working, holidays, and I'm missing time with my family. Like, if you're paying attention to this, they're telling you their needs. They're telling you the areas within their life that our opportunity could ultimately help them with, right? It could provide more leverage. It could provide more income for them so that they don't have to take those call hours, so that they could spend more time with their family and not have to miss holidays, Hopefully you guys are grabbing some of what I'm throwing down, because I'm going to show you how to convert some of this.
This is so good. Like,
is it? Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So if you're paying attention, and if you're listening, and if you're listening with the intent to not necessarily recruit them, but to build a relationship, and at some point in time be able to offer or present, like, one thing about me is I don't hammer people with our opportunity on the first meeting. Like, I meet people all day, every day. I'll connect with them. I'll connect with them on my social media feed. And sometimes it takes 30, 60, 90 days, because you're building a brand new relationship with somebody. Your intention when you meet a brand new person shouldn't be like, let me go crazy because I just met somebody and let me try to vomit all over them and blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, ketones and ketosis. Holy shit. Do you know what this product can do? Like, your life is about to completely change. Like, let me tell you, sister. So let me show you, hold on, girl, let me show you these pictures. So you see this is my girl, Chrissy. And so Chrissy just been crushing it. And you know what? Hold on, wait, I got samples. This is our Max. This is Max. This is Lemonade. This stuff is fire. Oh, let me tell you about 143 MCT. Let me tell you about Dr. Mary Newport. So she was a neonatal doctor, and her husband died of Alzheimer's. And so she, like, straight up was starting to do all this research on ketones. In fact, are you familiar with coconut oil? Like, coconut oil is amazing, but this stuff is like even better than coconut oil, and this stuff is even better than this. And right, I know some of y'all are laughing because y'all have done this. Y'all done it. I know y'all have. You want to know I know how you've done it? Because I did it. Like, I used to be that person until I actually was like groomed, right, to focus, to number one, know that if you are constantly in the hunt, and if you're farming this thing like a real farmer, and you're planting seeds, and you're like doing the deal, and you are planting your happy little garden, that you can't plant seed and it not reap a harvest. The seed that you plant today, though, might not bloom for another 30, 60, or 90 days, but it'll bloom. And it might not bloom with that person. It might bloom in another complete field, because guess what? The reality is if you do the work, the results will follow. And it's not up to you to worry about who's coming. Your job is only to do the work. Just do the work, and the results will always follow. They will always follow. So if we're walking somebody through this forming process of family, occupation, finding out like what they love about what they do, what they don't like about what they do, this is ammo. That's a bad word to use right now. These are tools in your toolbox to be able to pull people through a process that potentially could change their life, right? So we've got family, we have occupation, recreation. So one of the questions I always ask people, because they get on a tangent about their jobs, so then I kind of want to transition to be like, so girl, outside of your work, like what you do for fun? How many people that you prospected or that you're talking to, like, do you even your friends, like what do your friends love to do for fun? Like, what do they love to do? Like, what are they passionate about? And if time or money was no issue, what would their life look like, right? Man, my phone, we got all these people signing up right now because we're launching a new team. So my phone going, me, me, me. So like, if you're not taking that time, so I ask people, so occupation, recreation, so what do you like to do for fun, right? Because this is the reality. Like, people want a little bit more style in their life, right? Because you can have all of the time in the world, but if you don't have the resources, like, great, right? You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have the time freedom to be able to enjoy that money, then what the hell are we living for? But on top of that, like, if you don't, and sorry if I won't drop the F-bomb, but I might drop some other words. So I'm going to go ahead and just ask for forgiveness for all you people that might be judging me right now. This is a judgment-free zone, so don't judge me, because sometimes I just talk really fast.
You do you. I'm absolutely loving your passion. Do it.
So, you know, people want to have more in life, right? And so recreation, what do you like to do for fun, right? So if I'm a nurse and I'm talking about how the money's okay, but I'm missing holidays, and then I kind of transition and I'm finding out, like, from, you know, you're asking me, like, so what do you like to do for fun? Well, you know what? I love to travel. Like, one of my, like, I just love to travel. Really? Like, so give me, like, where are some of the places that you've been? And then maybe it's a few, or maybe it's none. Maybe it's like, you know, I love to travel, but, you know, because of my schedule and because of my husband's schedule and because of everything, we just don't really get a lot of time to, like, we don't get a lot of time to travel. Like, we don't, well, okay, so that's cool. Like, have you ever been outside of the country? Like, do you have any desires to go outside of the country? Yeah, actually, you know what would be so amazing is if, like, we could just, like, eat our way around the world, because I love to eat too. So, you know, maybe that would be super fun. Like, I've always thought about maybe that would happen. In fact, like, I have this book, and this book is like, you know, 100 must-see destinations, and I've been to like 2. And I'm like looking at some of the places in my magazine, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm ever going to get there, because it's just like, and what's so funny, guys, is that when you ask more questions, there's a lot of things subconsciously that are happening. Number one, the more that you can get somebody to talk about themselves, the more they're going to trust you, because people love to talk about themselves. Okay? People love to talk about themselves. People love to talk. Do more question asking and more listening than you are talking. Because if you're the one coming at people with all of your stuff and trying to convince and trying to vomit all over them about ketones, like you're probably not going to get the results that you're looking for, because you haven't taken the time to nurture the relationship and to really get to know the person and find out if there's even a need for what we have in their life. We know that everybody needs ketones, right? And so there's easy ways to transition into that conversation, but this is business equipping, and I'm hoping that you guys are kind of understanding that building relationship with people is the most important thing that you can do in this business. So if I'm a master at cold market prospecting, and what I mean by that is I can literally, like, I recruited a lady in 3 hours off the plane, like straight up signed her up as soon as we got off the plane. Like, you want to know what's so funny is she didn't even know my name when we got off the plane. Didn't even know my name. Her and her husband felt horrible. They're like, we feel really bad to even ask you this, but what is your name? I'm like, I just did my job. But let me tell you what happened. I mean, they were legit, like, pulling out pictures of their kids. I knew their anniversary day. I just saw all their pictures from the last month that they had been traveling. I knew everything about them. He has an office over in Maui. They have a house in Palm Springs. By the time we got off the plane, she was like, if you stay in Vegas because of the hurricane, like, rent a car and come stay with us in Palm Springs for a couple days. We'd love to have you. Now, these are complete damn strangers that I literally just sat next to on a plane. But by the time we got off the plane, because whenever we sat down and she and I started talking, after I spent literally an like the whole flight building rapport with them and getting them to open up about them and asking questions. About 45 minutes before the plane landed, she's like, so what do you do? What do you do? And I pulled out a Hacked magazine, and I have the video of the campfire video downloaded onto my phone. And I said, I work with a biohacking company. Are you familiar with ketones or ketosis? And she said, yes, I'm actually like been looking into the ketogenic diet because I need to get some extra weight off. I said, cool, watch this. And I put her in front of the video, and I handed the magazine to her husband. And I said, I have a couple more emails that I need to catch up on. So I'm going to do this while y'all look at that. And if you got any questions, let me know. That's all we did. And he's sitting here with the magazine, like asking me questions. I'm like, and so he's asking me questions about some of the doctors, and he's like, this is incredible. Like, is this really like a thing? And I'm like, yeah, actually I'm on my way to Vegas right now. They came on board as customers and then met me at the Red Rock Casino to pick up 20 packets of the product before they were driving to Palm Springs, because he was leaving for Maui and he wasn't going to have product before he left for Maui. They're having an incredible experience. They're asking questions, but it was a straight up cold conversation, and I took the time to form them. And when I got off the plane, I delivered the message. And here's what I said. You know, I have no idea if what we're doing with this community is even going to be a fit for you. I have no idea if you guys really even have the skills or the talents of the kind of people that we're looking to work with. But it might be an opportunity for you guys to really make an impact in a lot of people's lives. I know finances aren't really a thing for you, but I know you have a passion to help people. And this might be a really unique vehicle to help you do that. After you guys try the product for the next couple days, if you like how you feel, I'd love to have a higher level conversation with you on what we're doing and see if this might be a good fit. Okay? I listened to what they love about what they do. I listened to what was important to them, and I led them into my delivery, or into my, not even a close, but my invitation with what was important to them. What was important to them was not money. They don't need money. She's one of the top 50 photographers in the damn world. Like, legit, you can Google her name and she is a boss. They don't need money. The size of the rock on her finger told me she did not need money. But they have a heart for helping people, and she needed to lose weight. And they were familiar with network marketing, and I straight up told them, hey, I don't know if this is going to be a fit. I don't know if you have the skills. I don't know if you, and the reason I just saw that you couldn't get anybody to talk to you on the plane, the reason you couldn't get anybody to talk to you on the plane was because your energy behind it was with an agenda. Make a friend. I want all of you to go out tomorrow, and I want you to practice just F. Just practice F. Just practice meeting strangers and dropping F. Like asking family questions, complimenting them, giving them a genuine compliment. That's the easiest way to start a conversation with people, is look at them and identify a genuine compliment, not something that is superficial but genuinely look at somebody and see if there's something about them. You know, I compliment people's personalities and energy all the time. So I'll give you another example. I was in New York, and if you've ever been to New York City, the people there are just not very nice. So if you ever want to be like different, just go to New York and smile at everybody. Just smile at everybody and talk to everybody. They're going to think you're the weirdest person on the planet, but you can meet so many people, because nobody in New York talks to anybody, and they damn sure don't look at each other in the eyes, and they for dang sure like don't communicate when you're standing at a light waiting for the light to turn. Like, they just don't do that. So like, I'm standing in line at the CVS because I needed some dry shampoo because my hair was looking kind of greasy, and I'm sitting there and I'm paying attention to the cash register, like the lady working the cash register. She was the only one that was like super bubbly. She was smiling. She was like, thank you so much for coming in. Have a great day. Like, she was like, I was like, man, I better get her. And I did. So I'm sitting here and I'm kind of building a little bit of rapport with her, and her name was Tasha. I'm like, Tasha, how long have you worked here? She's like, girl, I've been here for a long time. And I was like, really? I was like, how long have you been here? She's like, 7 years. And I was like, well, that explains why you are so great with your customers. I was like, I have been in New York for the last month, and I have not seen anybody interact with customers the way that I've just seen you. I admire that characteristic about you. And I don't know if what I do would be a good fit for you or not. I don't know where you're at in your life, or maybe, you know, if you've been looking for something, but I'm in the market right now and I am looking to identify individuals that want to override $1 million team in this market. I don't know if you've got the skills or the qualities of the kind of person that we're looking for, but if you had a positive experience with our product and you could get passionate about what we're doing, I think some of your transferable skills could be a huge benefit to our community. I would love to get together with you and maybe have coffee and see if maybe there's an opportunity for us to do some great things and help a lot of people. She started crying. She was like, you have no idea, like, I have been wanting to get out of this career. Guess what? Homie just went MVP. So, like, here's the thing, people. Like, if you just genuinely look at people and identify people and come from a position of no agenda, but really looking to identify, if she would have had those skills, I would have tried to recruit her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could have tried, but like everybody else was rigid. Everybody else was nasty. But if you notice, I didn't sit there and try to sell her on ketones. It was my first introduction. It was the initial contact. And some of you are doing the initial contact in the presentation in the same 2 seconds. Take time to invite people to look at what we have without giving them. It's like, be sassy with your lingerie and don't give them the whole show, right? Like, legit, like, tease them a little bit and make them want to come to you. Don't just give them all of it like on the first date. Like, legit, like, some of you guys are like verbal diarrhea all over people talking about ketones when that's not even the time to be talking about ketones, right? And some of y'all are doing that all over your Facebook pages, and you're wondering why you're getting 1 or 2 likes. Like, if your posts aren't getting engagement, there's a reason why. You got to switch something up, because you're going to lose your people. You're going to lose your friends. You're going to lose people because you're going to be like all the other amateurs in network marketing that are spamming the crap out of their Facebook page. Instead of truly taking the time to foster relationships, deliver value, bring something that people want to the marketplace, and then take the time to identify if what we have might be of value to them. Okay? So transitioning from form, right? You're going to use form all the time. When even online, when you're forming people, you online and offline, like, you still, if you do make a post, because a lot of the time, some of you, especially if you're just launching, right? You post that before and after picture and it goes crazy. And then after about 3 months, things kind of slow down and you're not getting that same traction, and your recruiting goes down and your customer acquisition goes down because you don't have the skills. You got lucky off of a before and after picture when you first got started, and now you're dead in the water because you've got nothing else to move forward with, okay? So learn some skill, like when it comes to online marketing, like post some positive things. Like, don't try to position yourself as an expert in network marketing yet, because you're not that person, right? But be positive. You know, what a big thing is, do lifestyle things with your family, like things that this vehicle is providing for you, right? Like, do fun things with your family and post about those things. Ask silly questions on your Facebook page to get engagement, like cats or dogs, which one do you prefer? And just let people go to town on that. iPhone or Android, that's a great one. Like, iPhone and Android, why? Like, who's getting the new iPhone X? Like, that's just going to get engagement on your post. That's going to get people that are coming to your page, and they're going to comment on that. Post funny things. Post things that are going to engage. If you need some ideas for, like, what to do, go to Pinterest. This is one of my, like, little hacks. Go to Pinterest and find out, like, things to post on social media for engagement. There's, like, so much stuff on there, like, and they'll give it, there's like actual schedules that you could put together for like how to create engagement on your Facebook that is completely like not prove it. And watch what happens, right? And then maybe post things intermittently that are going to pique curiosity, maybe about ketones, or, you know, we use the magical unicorn juice, you know what I'm saying? But like, go out and add some new friends to your Facebook and like re-engage in some people maybe that you haven't talked to in a long time, and comment on some of their stuff and like on some of their stuff. And if they've been on a trip recently, inbox them and find out how the hell that trip was. Where'd they go? What was the best restaurant? You know, I've always wanted to go there too. Like, what was the thing that you loved the best about that place? Why did you choose there? Where would you go next, right? Like, these are all opportunities for you to focus on building relationship. And when people know that you care, they will come to you. People don't care how much people could care less how much you know about ketones in this community. But if they know that you care, then they're going to follow you. They're going to want to engage, okay? Now, transitioning, like, let's just say the example is you do have a post that gains traction and somebody's like, hey, I want some information on this. How many of you, and it's okay, this is true session, how many of you, as soon as somebody inboxes you or as soon as somebody does, the first thing that you do is, hey girl, awesome, look at this link, boom. Hold on, I'm gonna scroll through. Show of hands. How many of y'all do that? It's okay, true session. I really, like, don't, it's okay. Like, you guys are here for a reason. How many of you truthfully and honestly, like, when somebody inboxes you or comments on your post, the first thing that you do, like, is you just shoot them over your link? All right, so most of you. Okay, cool, that's awesome. It's not awesome, but we're gonna fix it right now, okay? So, like, here's the deal. Remember I told you earlier that the more information that you have, the more equipped that you are, okay? So one of the first questions that I always ask people, first of all, if somebody inboxes me, and I'm sure some of you maybe are even people are finding you randomly. If you haven't got there yet, it'll happen at some point, like, because people are starting to search for this now. So, like, people will inbox you randomly, like, hey, I've just found you on Facebook, like, I just found you, like, I want some more information on these ketones. Okay, if it's cold or maybe it's somebody you haven't talked to in a long time, guess what you do? You form them. You build some rapport. Hey, Chrissy, what's up, girl? It's been so long. Like, dude, like, legit haven't talked to you in forever. What's been going on? Like, maybe Chrissy's question was, hey, girl, give me some info on these ketones. Hey, what's up, man? Haven't talked to you in forever. Like, girl, like, it was like 2000 throwback. Like, that's when I remember us throwing down. It was 2000. Like, I see you, like, killing it in that Jaguar. Like, what's up? Like, what has been going on? Like, are you seeing anybody? Are you dating? Like, what the heck has been going on, girl? And you're going to take that time and you're going to build rapport. It doesn't have to be 10 hours of building rapport, but take the time to honor the person. Take the time to honor the person. Do not lead with your agenda. Do not lead with your product. Do not lead with your opportunity. Lead with honor. Lead with building that relationship with people. And when you do that, watch magic happen. And then transition into your delivery. And what I mean by that is say, so Chrissy, dude, totally want to get you some info on these tones. So first of all, like, is it cool if I ask you a few questions just to figure out what information to direct you to? Y'all better write that shit down. Can I ask you a few questions so that I can figure out what information to direct you to? Okay? Can I ask you a few questions to figure out what information to direct you to? And you're like, yeah, sure. So Chrissy, talk to me real quick. Like, what are you looking to improve when it comes to your health? Write that question down. What are you looking to improve when it comes to your health? Are there any health challenges that you're currently struggling with, like, that I should be aware of? Like, is there anything that you got going on? What specifically are you looking for this product to help improve? Okay. Some of y'all just spam that link. Y'all have no idea why they're even asking you for the information. Y'all are completely clueless, thinking that they want to lose fat, or maybe that they want the same results that you have. But the reality is they might have something completely different going on, and you don't know because you haven't taken the time to ask. Okay? So what would you like to improve? Guess what this is going to do? This is going to open up a conversation that is going to equip the crap out of you, right? So Chrissy, you might be thinking Chrissy's wanting fat loss. Chrissy's like, well, you know, what's crazy, Dawn, is that a couple years, I was actually diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So I have been really struggling a lot with pain. I've also developed some, some thyroid issues. And girl, I'll be honest, like I feel like crap. I don't have any energy. I gained 30 pounds. I'm even probably slightly depressed because I don't feel, girl, I'm so sorry. Like, are you currently are you doing anything right now to address the pain and inflammation? Like, are you doing anything right now to help keep your energy up? Because guess what? Like, she might be drinking 10 damn Starbucks a day, or she might be drinking energy drinks or 5-hour shots, or she might be on some other program or weight loss program, or might be, doing whatever, right? But if you don't know, there's two reasons that I asked that question. One, to know, like, what are the things that they're already trying, but two, to know where they're spending their dang money. So that when they tell me it's too expensive, I can be like, well, guess what? We're just going to go ahead and we're not going to use those things, and we're just going to try out these ketones, and you're actually going to save money. Okay, if somebody's telling you that they're drinking energy drinks, or that they're going to Starbucks a couple times a day, or they're addicted to coffee, well, there's their product right there, right? But you don't know that when you don't know how to handle the objection of I can't afford it, because you haven't found out where their money's being diverted anyway. Okay, if somebody says fat loss, like I need to lose weight, here's another question that I ask. Awesome, girl, I can totally relate to that. And I always say that. Yeah, girl, I needed to lose some weight too, sister. I'm down almost 30 pounds. Let me ask you, what have you tried in the past to lose weight? That's a powerful question to find out. Like, what have they done? What have they tried? What are they currently doing? And then I always ask them, well, why do you feel that didn't work out for you? Why do you feel that didn't work? Like, maybe it was and you know what? That's going to lead you to a whole thing. Maybe they say, well, it was too hard and I just couldn't get over like the super restrictive, like the diet was really restrictive. Like I couldn't eat more than 500 calories a day. I had to shoot myself with needles in my belly. Like, people do crazy things. Maybe it was just the support. They're like, I tried I tried XYZ company, and I tried this and that, I just didn't have the support that I needed. This is equipping you with that particular client's need so that you can service them at the highest level, right? Some of your clients are going to be like on their own. They're not going to need a lot of your help. They're super efficient on their own. Some of them need help, right? Like they need that guidance. They need that support, right? That customer service. Some of you guys are having a hard time retaining customers because you're not servicing your customers. Some of you are giving and selling 5 and 10 day experiences and you're not following up. You don't even know if they like the dang flavor of the product. You don't know if their stomach hurts. You don't know if they've been taking electrolytes. You don't know if they are watching their carbs and not going bananas on adding too much fat, because you haven't been focusing on servicing your clients and really focusing on people that are paying your check. These people are, you want to build a business. These are your customers. Like, you want to know one of my little hacks for my customers is they all get personal handwritten thank you cards. I write personal handwritten thank you cards to every single customer. Handwritten cards to every single customer. Why? Because when was the last time that you bought something from a store and they wrote you a thank you card? Probably not very often. Why do you think our company sends out handwritten cards to our community? Because it makes people feel special. It makes people feel important. If you haven't read the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I would highly recommend that you get that book. It'll change your life. Study it. Read it 10 times. How to Win Friends and Influence People. Okay? If you're not servicing your clients, if you're not making sure that people are having a positive experience here, you're not going to retain them. And that service will lead to upgrading them as to promoters. So some of you are trying to convert customers into promoters, There's two schools of thought there. Number one, not all your customers need to be promoters. All of your customers should be a referral source for you, though, if you've nurtured the relationship and you can tap into their center of influence. But not all your customers need to be promoters, but you better be getting referrals from them. And that's a skill set that's learned by building relationship and then trusting you enough to open up their center of influence to you. Are y'all guys getting some value out of this? Like, I hope so. Because if not, then I'll just shut up.
Heck yes, heck yes, heck yes. I'm
so,
like,
so when it comes to where was I? See, I go on these rants. Let me get some water. Let me drink some of this Blue Ocean real quick. Let me let me fire up my brain with some Blue Ocean. So, customers asking questions when they're building rapport through the inbox. You could build a massive business through your inbox. You truly can, but you got to find out what their needs are. So now Chrissy's telling me like all this stuff she got going on with her life. I'm asking her like, okay, well, like, what do you feel? Why do you feel that that didn't work for you? She's sharing that with me. And then I'm asking another question. And that question is, well, let me ask you a question. When it comes to your diet and when it comes to like your, you know, losing weight, like what do you feel that you struggle with the most? Right? For a lot of people, it's cravings, it's munchies, it's being hungry all the time, it's the out of control, right? Again, more, right? We're detectives. We're out there, we're trying to get as much information as we can, right? And so with that, we're able to, I need to check my battery. Hold on, let me plug it in real quick. The more information you have, the more equipped that you are to be able to lead them. Guess what? You're going to send them all the same information. This is really just for you. And I'll give you guys my little hack because I don't just send the campfire video because I feel that the campfire video is very misleading because our product is not a weight loss product. And the campfire video only talks about fat loss and energy. So you're missing out on a huge demographic of people. I'll tell you what I send. But now as I'm asking these questions, I'm equipped. I know like how I know what my customer wants. I know what they need. I know now like, okay, boom. Like I know what she's struggling with. I know how long she's been struggling with it. And I know that our product can do what? It can provide an answer and a potential opportunity for her to experience better, right? And we know the numbers. We know that most people that give our product a shot are going to feel good. The reason that so I'm going to toot my own horn here. The reason we even have the 10-day and 5-day experience is because I started that. And I will tell you guys, it is a minimum of a 50% conversion ratio. That number will be higher if you are following up with your customers at a high level. So if you need 10 customers this month, go put 20 people on a 5 or 10-day experience pack and service the crap out of those 5 and 10-day experience packs. Drip on them with information. Do not be cheap and not invest into hacked magazines. This is a business. You can write all this crap off anyway. You can write it all off. Some of you guys are worried about investing money into your business when you're giving part of it to Uncle Sam and you don't even realize that as much money as you invest into your business, if you're not profiting coming out of the gate, you can write all that off. That's a whole nother training subject. Tax benefits of a home-based business, right? So like now I'm equipped and so now here's some key verbiage, right? So now we've taken them through this process. We know what Chrissy needs. We know she's struggling with fibromyalgia. We know that this product will help with inflammation, right? We know that people are, and it's almost 10 o'clock. So if you guys like need to jump off of here, like you do not have to stay on. I'm going to keep rolling because, well, can I get like, if y'all want me to keep rolling, would you like me to keep driving some of this content or do y'all want to get off? Because I'm told to do. Okay. Tell us what you do to service your 5 and 10 days. Okay, cool. I will. So keep going. Okay. So now I've got all this I've got all of this information and now I know exactly what Chrissy needs. And here's what I say. Okay, Chrissy, cool. Listen, I really think that our product might be able to help you with a lot of those things. If I send you over a quick video and a short article to read, would you take a look at it? It'll take you like 8 minutes to go through the information. If I would you, two incredibly powerful words. If I would you. You're getting a buy-in, you're getting a commitment, and you're letting them know coming out of the gate, this isn't like going to take you 10 hours to go through all this information. It's going to take you 8 minutes. So here's what I send to people, okay? I send the campfire video, and if you're not familiar with the Keto Basics link on your Prove It page, it's under the blog. So if you're going to proveitnow.com and you click, man, I just gave you the gold. Like, y'all want to know why I have such a high conversion ratio? It's because of this right here. So y'all can't give it to everybody outside of your team. This is just for y'all. Okay. This is for the, I see some cross lines on here too. So I see you, McGuire. So, no, it's okay. We all one family. So it's all good. So I want everybody to win. But I want us to win at a professional level, right? Because we need to groom a team of professionals, not a team of amateurs that are just throwing some damn spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. That's not how you build a legacy. It's not how you build a residual income. The only reason I still earn income from my 2 previous companies today is because of the stuff I'm teaching you right now. I still get paid for my 2 previous companies. Why? Because I never raped and pillaged the organization. I never brought a team over. I started from scratch every single time because my skill set was strong enough to do so. You could drop me in a city completely knowing nobody, and in 90 days I would have a team there, guaranteed. Why? Because the things I'm teaching you right now. If you can build rapport with people and bring them through a very simple process and nurture relationships, you can build a team and a community anywhere on the planet. It's so simple. So simple. It's simple to do. It's simple not to do as well. And it does take some work. So I'm going to send those 2 links. I'm going to send the Keto Basics link, and I'm going to send the campfire video. It takes 8 minutes. Why do I send the Keto Basics link? Because it hits on all the other things outside of fat loss and energy. If you haven't read that article, go read it. It's proveitnow.com/keto-basics. Keto-basics. I don't send my personal referral code link to it. I just send that one because nobody can order from it anyway. I just want them to read the article. But it talks about autism and ADD and ADHD and all the things that we're not allowed to say. It hits on all of those things, okay? It hits on all of that, right? It hits on Alzheimer's, and it hits on neurodegenerative issues, and it hits on blood sugar regulation, and it only takes a couple minutes to read through. It's an article that Dr. Andy wrote, and it's powerful, and it says, what is ketones and ketosis? What are ketones good for? And what's the difference between ketogenic diet and exogenous ketones? It's a really great article, and it's a 1-2. Boom. Thank you, Erin, for putting that in the chat. Okay. Send those 2 things. It'll take them 8 minutes and say, hey girl, listen, go through that information. Do you have time to go through it right now? Okay, great. Hit me back when you're done. She's going to look at that information and she's going to be fired up. Dawn, this looks amazing. How do I get my hands on some? Awesome, girl. You got a couple different options. You can try a 5 or 10 day experience. It's really more for you to just try the different flavors and see which one like you really like. See if this is something you even want to integrate, but it'll give you a chance to at least try the flavors. A lot of people do experience something positive usually within the first 5 to 10 days, but to really get the full benefit of this product, you really need to do 30 to 60. Okay? You want to under promise and over deliver with this product. In the beginning, man, I was like personally guaranteeing like, you're gonna like your whole life's about to change in 5 days. But we know now that like not everybody's gonna have that life-changing experience in 5 days. We now know that even more people will have a positive experience if they do a 10-day, and we know those numbers go up drastically 30 and 60 days later, right? So manage those expectations for your clients so that way they're not expecting like this huge miracle, and then if they get the miracle, praise the Lord, because now we got like a raving fan, right? But under promise and over deliver. Don't overhype this product. It doesn't need the hype. It really doesn't. Lead authentically with your heart, your story, and what it's done for you. Some of y'all getting a little fanatical on how much ketones have changed your life. Calm that down just a little bit, Jana. Calm it down just a little bit. just be cool, right? Some of y'all get really excited when people are like, I want information, and then you go ham and you like Crazy Gina. And if there's Gina on here, I'm sorry, I just like that name for examples, okay? Gina said, who, me? I love it. I'm like, if there's a Gina on here, I'm sorry. Sorry, Gina. So it's okay to be excited. It's okay to be passionate, but you also don't want to be like overly ridiculous about it, because that's going to turn people off too. And then that skepticism starts to sink in of like, this is a little too much for me, right? So always under promise and over deliver. And I tell them straight up, you may or may not notice anything in the first 5 to 10 days. Like I said, girl, this is really just an opportunity for you to try the different flavors, see which one you like, see if this is something that you can start implementing into a daily regimen. And then from there, if you want to move forward, I can set you up with a customer account. I don't even talk about promotership until they've tried the product. In fact, today I told 3 people they were not qualified to join my team because they hadn't tried the product yet. That's just how I roll. Y'all might think I'm crazy, and that's cool. Y'all go crush it, do it how you do. But I'd rather have somebody that's sold out, hardcore, not going anywhere, fired up, than somebody that gets started prematurely because they don't have an experience and they didn't go start talking to people coming out of the gate, and then they ended up losing people or not getting any results or missing GoPro or missing MVP because really they only wanted to try the product first. Some of y'all need to be pre-qualifying your people that are saying, I want to be a promoter. Here's another pre-qualifying question. So Kelly, let me ask you. So Kelly, so I'm going to use not Kelly, I'm going to use Kelly. I'm looking at Kelly, but it's Chrissy. I'm looking at the name, but it's not. She's like, let me just put on my ball wig today. So, and if y'all could just send up a little prayer for Kelly, some unspoken prayers, but just send her some love because she needs it right now. So let's say Chrissy comes back, right? Because all of us know somebody that's been involved in network marketing, right? And they say, yeah, girl, I'm ready to go. Sign me up. Like, I'm ready to come in, ready to go. Okay, cool. So Chrissy, let me ask you a quick question. Like, are you wanting to be a promoter because you're ready to like join right now and like you're ready to start talking to people today? Or like, are you kind of just wanting to test the product out first? Or like, are you just kind of wanting to get your product paid for? Like, kind of give me a little bit of like what you're wanting to do here. Because some of you are signing up promoters that really just want to be customers and get their product for free, and can do that through our referral program. Because there's one thing that's still constant, no matter what, is like the average person in network marketing can still only recruit 2.5 people. So I don't care if it's customers or if it's promoters, they still can only get 2. So some of y'all trying to recruit promoters that's going to require them to go get at least 15, 20 customers and a couple promoters. And like they're not even trying to do that. Like they just want to get an experience and then maybe refer some people to get their product paid for. But because this industry has conditioned people to become promoters and drive opportunity instead of truly developing a community of customers, which is where your residual income comes from, because they don't care about nothing except for, is the product gonna work? How long is it gonna take to get to me? And if it doesn't work, can I get my money back? That's the only thing your customer cares about. And the reality is I'd rather have my income tied to a whole network of customers than a whole network of promoters that when the next shiny object comes, all them mother leave and take everybody with them and take all that volume with them. Because one thing that I do know is that if the promoter leaves and they haven't been servicing their customers, but their customers love our product, they might leave, but their customers do not. We're talking long term here, guys. This isn't like a sprint play. This is a marathon. We trying to build some legacy. Like, give yourself 3 to 5 years of being hardcore consistent. If I can give you any word of advice tonight, it's be here 18 months from now and don't stop. Do not miss a day of sharing this conversation with somebody. Do not miss a day of developing yourself personally. Do not miss a day of pursuing better. Because you can work this business full-time, or you can work this business sometime, but you cannot, or you can work this business full-time, or you can work it part-time, but you can't work it some of the time. Some of y'all are getting all fired up and then you take 3 weeks off. Go run 90 days, hardcore, face down, like laser focus, go create some momentum, and then take a weekend. Like for real, depending on what your goals are. Like, I mean, if you're just trying to make an extra $500 to $1,000, disregard all that. But if you try to get free, you trying to create an income stream that can be passed down generation to generation to generation, because you know this is a willable income stream. Like, you can will this income stream to your children when you die. Hopefully nobody's gonna be dying anytime soon, because we all drink ketones, so we hoping to live forever. But like, this isn't a sprint play. This is a long-term play, and your income is tied to customers, not promoters. So let the promoters raise their hand, because then you can focus on the ones that are serious and not the ones that are just curious. And let your customers lead you to maybe somebody that could go crush this. Because if you're building it the right way, and if you're taprooting through centers of influence, and I'll do another training with my whiteboard, because I do have a whiteboard and I can get bananas with the whiteboard. I will teach you guys some really solid taprooting strategies that will help you build through a team, so that way you can pull volume from anybody in that organization. And that even if somebody does quit, the volume doesn't fall apart. What do you say when people ask you what you do for a living? So what I tell them is I work, well, the real question is what do you say? Like, I mean, unless you're working Prove It full time, your answer should be, I'm a whatever, right? That should be your answer. Whatever you currently do, unless this is your full-time income, you shouldn't be saying, oh, I'm a full-time Prove It promoter. No, you're a nurse. And I have this little side hustle on the side. I got this little part-time hustle that, I'm building on the side. Oh, well, what's that? Are you familiar with ketones or ketosis? What I say, because I do work the business full-time, is I say I work with a biohacking company. What's biohacking company? Well, we work with the technology that was actually developed for the Navy SEAL divers to prevent seizures. And our company is actually bringing that technology to market. Are you familiar with ketones or ketosis by any chance? That's what I say. But I also work the business full time. So if you're a nurse, or if you are a whatever, right, then that's what you do. But you can plug your little side hustle. Some of y'all so quick to want to quit your jobs. And I'm all for this vehicle getting people free, and I applaud, because there's some people on this. I don't know if the Wests are on here or if the Strahans are on or not, but if they are, like they straight up crushing, like have been able to retire their spouses and just go bananas, right? And so like that is, I'm all for it. And so it gets to a point where it's like, you definitely should go full time, because your job is just getting in the way of you building your fortune. But there's something that one of my all-time favorite mentors of all time, Mr. Jim Rohn, says. It's called the power of part-time. You're working full-time on your job and part-time on your fortune. Because think about it this way, if you're working this business full-time and you're only pulling in an extra $1,500 or maybe $2,000 a month, that's not a strong story. Like, you working this full-time and you're only making $2,000 a month, like, that's not a good story. But if you got a little side hustle that you're working 10 to 15 hours a week and bringing in an extra $2,000 a month, sign me up. Right? I want some of you to switch your vision, right, of trying to not go, and I had to do this. This is a recent come to Jesus conversation that I just had. And it was taking my mindset off of trying to go out and produce a whole bunch of six-figure income earners and focus on helping thousands of people make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. Shifting my focus to helping that single stay-at-home mom bring in an extra $500 to $1,000 a month consistently. Because if I go help enough people do that, then my income will be taken care of. So I'm in the hunt. I'm hungry. Why do you think on the call last night we showcased the brand new MVPs and not all the ranked 6, 7s, and 8s that have promoted? Because it doesn't matter. It's about the brand new person that in the last 30 days went and made a story, and it's taking their story and sharing it to their friends and showing their friends how they can make an extra $500 to $1,000 or $2,000 in their first 30 days and duplicating that story like freaking gangbusters. That's the power of GoPro and MVP, is we create strong 30-day stories. Man, I'm just getting on off all kinds of subjects right now. Okay, so what do I do to engage? I saw the question come up. Give me another question. I think I probably jumped all over, but give me another question that somebody was asking.
You actually have hit a lot of the questions, like going because people were asking about, should we have to debunk other products? Well, no, you sort of touched on that. Recruiting other companies. I think.
How do I do?
Oh.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was like, what was that?
Yeah, by the way, that's one of my customers that I've has sent me 15 damn customers, and I legit just still doesn't want to do the business. I'm like, okay, sister, you don't got to do the business. Just keep sending me all your customers. And then I send her free stuff. Like I sent her a 5-pack of Blue Ocean. I sent her some MCT. I sent her coupons to use towards her, but she gets her product for free. But all those customers, they still link to her referral code. They all compress up to me. Oh, and she's 3 levels deep, and the people between me and her ain't doing nothing. They all inactive. So all those customers compress up to me. I get paid the dollars on all those customers, and she ain't trying to do no business. Some of y'all would try to recruit her and try to get her to upgrade to a promoter, and then you cut off that referral source because the pressure is there. Video tools for Mixer or booth we rent at a fair. Okay, so 5 and 10 days. So with the 5 and the 10 days, so how I service my customers is I just straight up tell them, like, I'm gonna be checking on you every day. So like if you do not have an ongoing list, all of you guys are on Jared Maidenberg's team. So if you're not using Better Starts Here, like y'all need to be using that, betterstartshere.com. On that list, there is a 5-day experience tracker. I will, if it's not, it wasn't downloading, it was being a little wonky. So if it's still not downloading, if Aaron or somebody can post it in the biohackers group, then I will post that PDF. I will post that PDF. Okay, so she's already got it in the pinned post. So you definitely need to be tracking all your 5 and 10 day experiences. Like here's the other thing that my mentor told me. Some of you do not track your numbers. Like you don't know what you're converting. Do you want to know why the company adopted the 5 and 10 day experience? Because I knew that 50% of them would convert into sales. And that's why Brian Underwood bought me an Apple iWatch, because the month after we trained on that, the company sales grew 30%. Because I knew that 50%, why did I know that? Because I track my numbers like a Nazi. That's why we rolled out the experience pack. That's why we just changed the comp plan a few months ago to be all volume based, because we knew that if somebody unloaded an experience pack and put 30 to 40 people on 5 or 10 day experience packs, that would convert into enough volume to hit 2,000. It's simple math. But some of you aren't tracking your numbers. You have no idea how many people you put on 5 or 10 day experiences. You're not following up. You don't have a business because you're not tracking your numbers. You're not tracking anything that you're doing. You're not tracking your activity. You're not tracking how many people that you've put through the conversation. You're not tracking how many mixers you're doing. You're not tracking in your calendar. Y'all see that? This, I can literally look at my calendar and tell you where my volume comes from every month. Because when I have a sit down, or when I do a mixer, or when I do a Zoom, this is going to be, Kelly wanted me to hit on this, and we're totally not going to get on it tonight because it'll just be too much for you guys. But like one of the things we have to start doing with Zooms is we need to have a solid count number of how many guests we had on that Zoom and what was the result that was created from that Zoom. How many 5 days were sold? How many 10 days were sold? How many people got started as customers and how many people got started as promoters? We need those numbers, right? So that we know how effective what we're doing is to grow the business. If we have 100 damn people on the Zoom, but we only have 5 guests, that's not effective. And that tells us that as a leader, that we need to be equipping you guys with how to invite people onto Zooms and how to invite people to presentations. That's a skill set. We can teach it. It's no problem. I'll give you the words on how to do it. But you have to start tracking your activity. So that 5 and 10 day experience tracker is your guide. It is your daily guide. So how do I follow up with people? What do I do? Well, guess what? I know, because I send out the samples. I know on what day those samples are going to be hitting their doorstep, right? Okay. I know exactly what day it's going to be hitting, so I know that they're going to be starting the next day. So guess what I do? Hey girl, I know you're about to start your samples this morning. Just want to kind of give you some instruction on how to take the product. I have a video that I sent to them that I recorded that I send on how to take the product. That's just something that I did because I got tired of having to text it. I got tired of having to answer the same questions on what formula is this and how do I take it and telling them to take their before pictures and da 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 da. So I just send them my video. Now you can do whatever you want, but that's what I do. You can find my video. It's on YouTube. I'm going to be making a new one because that one doesn't have the new formulas on it. So I'm going to be recording that probably tonight. So I send them that and I say, hey, I know you're going to be starting on your product. So I want to go ahead and I want to shoot you this video. Make sure you take before pictures and watch this video. It takes about 6 minutes to go through the information so that you know how to properly take the product. Or I'll send them to it the day before. Like either way, like before they're starting on their product, they're getting some instruction on how to take it. And I just let them know, hey, listen, I want to know what you think of the flavors. I want to know how you feel. Like I'm going to be following up with you, you know, pretty regularly just so that you have the best experience possible on this product over the course of the next 5 to 10 days. That's what I do. Now, here's another little thing that I do. All right. We have that guest call every Tuesday and it's with a specialist and they're recorded. So one of the things that I do personally is I create little library arsenals, okay? Because as you know, through the Pulse app, like we get a lot of notifications, right? But sometimes those calls are really powerful. And how many times have you had somebody on that call or not had somebody on that call where you've been on that call and you wish you had 30 of your customers on that call, right? It happens all the time. That call last week with Abigail and Abigail and Dr. Andy, that call was fire. Like it was good. It was a really good call. So what I did is all of the people that had been on a 5-day experience or that were in their 5-day experience, here's what I did. Hey, Susie Q, so real quick, first of all, how are you feeling? Like talk to me how you're feeling. What are you noticing? Like how are you loving the flavors? If they're not loving the flavors, giving them some ideas. Obviously, the recipes are a great way for them to experience different flavors. And then I say, well, hey, listen, you know, real quick, on Tuesday, I was actually invited onto one of our VIP calls. And it was actually a call with one of our specialists. And she hit on some things that I think you would find incredibly valuable. And it will just give you another level of understanding of what our product is and kind of what this is doing in your body. So I was wondering if I shot you over the replay for that call, would you listen to it? So what does that do, right? We talk about validation all the time. We're talking about that third-party credibility. We're talking about validating our conversation, right? You could say the same thing that Dr. Andy's going to say on that call, but because it's coming from somebody else, like some of the stuff I'm giving, I don't know, maybe you've heard it before, maybe Kelly said it, maybe my team hears me blabber all the time, but not even as much as sometimes they should. Like we're really going to start scaling up some of this stuff, but like, like it's that third party validation. It's that for whatever reason, like, I mean, I hear some things and then I hear it from somebody else and I just hear it a little bit differently because it's coming from somebody else. But because that call is from a specialist and because it's coming and you edify, So here's another skill. Some of y'all aren't edifying. You aren't edifying the Zooms. You're not edifying your leaders. You're not you're not building the bridge of credibility, and therefore it's very difficult for people to get the results that they're looking for because they're not building the bridge of credibility. And so what I mean by that is when you invite somebody to listen to that call, okay, well, how I would phrase it would be something like, okay, so let's say that Chrissy says, yeah, I would love to hear it. Okay, awesome. So the lady that you're going to be hearing from, her name is Dr. Andy Campanelli. She's actually a very well-respected naturopathic doctor up in Canada. And she deals a lot with like hormone replacement and a lot of health issues that deal specifically with women. She's just a sweetheart. She's helping a lot of people. She's super passionate about this conversation. So just make sure that when you're listening to it, you're in a quiet place so that you can really get the full value from the call. So what have I just done for my person? Number one, I framed their mind. It's not just like, oh, here, boom, listen to the call, right? Like I've edified the speaker on the call. I've built credibility to the speaker, and I've given them some very specific instructions to do what? Be in a quiet place so that they can do what? Pay attention to what is being talked about on the call, because I want them to get the full value out of that call. Does that make sense? So like frame your people in a place that is going to move them in the direction that you want them to go. And on those calls, what do? We hit briefly. We don't go crazy in the comp plan. We don't talk, but we plant the seed, right? We're farmers. We're planting seeds all day. We're putting people through a process of exposure involvement. This step of getting them on a call is an easy way to involve them in our community to where maybe at some point they will upgrade themselves. It's a process of expose, involve, and upgrade. Getting them on a Zoom is a form of involvement. It's not to Sorry, I'm back. I got a phone call. So it's not to close them on that first call. It's not to try and, make sure that, it's that the point is to pull them through a process, and the ones that raise their hands will. The ones that want this will raise their hands. This business is so simple. When you detach yourself emotionally from the outcome and stop trying to get everybody to do what you want them to do. Lead them through the process to where they make their own decision, and then serve them at the level that they want to participate. Okay? Bring them through that process. So that's one of the tools that I use. And I created a library. I have a call with Dr. Dom and a call with Dr. Nally from like a year ago. It's the most fire call ever. And I still edify that call. And I say, man, you know what? Tuesday night, I had the opportunity to listen to this incredible doctor from Arizona. He's been, he's one of the top physicians out there. He's got practice. He's been in practice for years. He's been putting his clients on a ketogenic diet for 15, 20 years, started implementing this technology, and has just seen incredible things. I would love to get you. I would love for you to listen to that call so that you have a better understanding of like what this product is doing in your body and what it can do for other people, right? And then I just get the buy-in for them to listen to it. And then I tell them, hey, it's like 28 minutes long. Like, how long is your, and I ask them, right? Because I'm always about moving people to the next step and kind of setting them up, because people want to be told what to do. Some of you are leaving people open-ended, like you're not setting appointments for the next thing. You're not what I call BAM fam. It's called book a meeting from a meeting, right? So like my 5-day experience people, I'll tell them like, hey, that call's like 28 minutes long. How long is your commute to work? Well, the average person's commuting like 20, 25, 30 minutes, right? So I say, cool. Why don't you just listen to it while you're in your car? It'll be a quiet place. You can just listen to it on your phone, on the browser, on your phone. And then you won't have any interruptions, but you're going to it's going to blow your mind. Like Dr. Nally is amazing, right? And then I tell them, and then I'll touch base with you tomorrow evening and see what you thought. Right? So we're kind of setting the appointment. We're setting, now they may or may not listen to it at that point in time, but at least again, I'm putting them through an opportunity for me to follow up. And as your business grows, it does get hard, but you know what? It's part of the game, right? It's part of what we do. Like our business drives based on follow-up. Okay. So that's what I do with my 5 and 10 days. I drip on them with information. If I know that their need is inflammation or they're dealing with XYZ, I'm constantly looking for articles. I'm looking for, things that Dr. Dom posts. I'm looking for any and everything. And I'm just building arsenals to be able to, as I'm building my community of customers, I'm servicing them, right, with knowledge, because we are what? We're a knowledge-based company. We are we're an education-first company. And so if we're not educating our clients, if we're not educating our customers, then we're missing the biggest part of this whole thing. Because the retention comes from our customers truly understanding what they have their hands on. And they're not going to go find it themselves. They saw a post and that was it. And that was enough to make them interested. But it's our job to make sure that they're educated. And at some point in time, they might get themselves to an event. They might get themselves to a Keto Academy. They might get themselves on a Zoom, if you can drip on them with a recorded call, because not everybody can get on a call at 9:15. I would build for Tuesday night calls with your 5-day experience people. Hey, I have a really unique opportunity to invite a couple people. This is part of an invitation skill set. And it's not like, hey, we're having a call tonight. Boom. Like, blast out the link. It needs to be a personal invitation. Don't just spam people the calls. I spam my team because my team needs to be on the calls, and I shouldn't have to personally invite. You realize many of us have been told, I don't know what that question was. What was that question that just came up?
So what she's saying is that she really appreciates that you're educating, that it's not just spamming and dropping a link, that it's more about the relationship and adding value to, edify what it is that you're passing along versus just drop and then hoping that it sticks. I really like that spaghetti analogy.
That's good. It's true, right? We're throwing spaghetti against the wall and seeing what sticks. So build for Tuesday night calls, right? If you have some potentials that have expressed some interest in possibly becoming a promoter, our Tuesday and Thursday night Zooms, y'all should be building like gangbusters for those calls, because we're going to bring the heat. We will get your people in. Just get them on the Zoom. How do you do it? Hey, so Chrissy, I know that you had expressed some interest in wanting to actually, maybe participate in our community at a higher level, and that you wanted to learn a little bit more about what being a promoter looks like. So listen, I can't invite everybody. I've been given the opportunity to invite a handful of people onto this VIP Zoom tonight with my girlfriend Kelly and my girlfriend Dawn. And let me just tell you a little bit about these two, because they're not going to talk about themselves when you get on this. But like Kelly, she's totally killing this thing. Like, her husband had a really powerful experience on a product, like legit shattered every bone in his body. And this product really helped a lot with his inflammation. Like, he's a completely different person. Kelly is a mother of 5. They were struggling financially. The product just totally transformed their life, and they started sharing with this. And, I don't know. All I know is that, like, she literally was destitute. Like, she was having a hard time paying her bills, and they literally just purchased 5 acres and paid cash. They're building their dream home. They're just doing some amazing things, and she's just awesome, and you're going to love her. And I would love for you to come on and have a chance to hear firsthand from somebody that's making some awesome things happen. Like, do you think Chrissy's going to say no? Like, she can be like, oh my God, yeah. Like, and what have you just done? You've created exclusivity. You've created, like, it's not like, oh, everybody, now, are there going to be a lot of people on the Zoom? Yes. But you've created like this exclusive, like, hey, I can't invite everybody, but I thought of you because I know that you would express some interest, and possibly maybe generating some extra income, and you just kind of wanted to know a little bit more. I have a couple invitations that I can invite some people, and I wanted to give you the first opportunity. Right? She's either going to say yay or she's going to say no. Right? And then here's the other key to that. You don't give them the link until right before the Zoom. You set them the time and you say, hey, I'll be getting that Zoom link Go ahead and download the app, and as soon as I get the number, I'll shoot it over to you. She said she'd send it over to me a couple minutes before the Zoom, right? Because then what does that do? That gives you an opportunity to what? Follow up. Gives you an opportunity to follow up with that person and see if they were really serious about getting on the Zoom, right? And you go do that with a whole group of people, right? You do that. And you still create the exclusivity, but you say, man, I can, they're only giving me the opportunity to invite like 3 people on because we're limited on the amount of people we can put on this Zoom. So like, if you can make it, awesome. If you can't, that's totally cool, but I need like a hard commitment. Because if you can't make it, I'm going to ask somebody else that was inquiring. Now you're getting these hardcore commitments, and you know that you've got 3 guests showing up on the Zoom.
Something to add to what you're saying, Dawn, is if your Facebook page is not full of spam and full of Zoom links and full of all of the information that people can just grab, it makes it easier for you to actually create that exclusivity. So that they're not looking and seeing, oh, well, there's another one.
Yeah. So like, I tested it last night because I was like, well, let me just see. Like, I did it last night. I never do it, but I did it last night. I was like, let's see what kind of results we get. I had like a whole bunch of likes, but like nobody inboxed me from it. So I'm like, I will never do that again. I'm going to pull it down tonight. I just haven't been online today. I've been online. I've been on Messenger, but I haven't been on Facebook outside of my one post. So like, yeah, you don't want, like, don't spam our sales all over your Facebook page. Don't spam, like, it's not, I mean, and like, let's be honest, how many of you are really getting results from that? I mean, like, just track your activity. Like, if it's not getting you results, then don't do that thing. And then ask, okay, what are some other things that I can do so we can start getting you results? Because the only thing that determines success is results. I don't care what it is. People that are winning here are winning because they're getting results. Does the question, what do you know about ketones and ketosis, work? Yes. It doesn't work when you just spam it to somebody and it's the very first conversation you've had in 5 years. So we're going to undo some training that the corporation has done. Do not do that. Like, when you are in a seminar or when we are at a big event and somebody on stage tells you to pull out your phone and to call or to text 5 people, what do you know about ketones and ketosis? I am giving you very specific instructions to disobey. Do not do that. And make sure you are telling your teams, do not do that. Like, legit, don't do it. The question works. Don't get me wrong. The question works, though, when you've taken the time to build the rapport on the front end. The reason that question worked for Michael Rutherford is because BU's his best friend. So if it's your homegirl, if Chrissy's my homegirl and we talk every day because she's my homie and we have conversation all day, like, I can legit call Chrissy and be like, yo, girl, you're getting this link. You need to watch it right now, and you need to call my ass back as soon as you watch it. It's 4 minutes long, and then I'm coming over to your house. Like, I could do that because she's my girl, right? But I'm going to give you an example. So everybody was doing that. My team actually texted me during the event, should we do this? I said, absolutely not. You will not do that because we are not amateurs, and it's just not what we're going to do. And so there's a doctor that I built with in a previous company who I absolutely adore. And I haven't spoken to him since 2012 based on previous text messages, because I have my text messages from 2011 still on my phone, because I can go back through all of those text messages and talk about stuff that we talked about 7 years ago. And people are like, how the hell did you remember that? Because I keep every single message because I'm OCD like that. Like, that's why I have like a bazillion megabytes of like backup stuff on my phone and on the iCloud. Okay. I like can't even, like, I have anxiety even thinking about letting go of all those messages. Anyway, so I text Dr. Warren Longmire, and I did not text him, what do you know about ketones or ketosis? What I text him was, hey, Dr. Longmire, haven't talked to you in forever. You came to my mind. How the heck have you been? It's been a long time since we talked. Now, he's commented on a couple things on my posts like over the years, but we haven't had a relationship. His response was, "This has been the worst year of my life." And he proceeds to tell me that he has spent the last 160 out of 360 days in the hospital. He had a complete like open heart surgery, stents put in, had to go to therapy, had to learn how to walk, has no energy, is practicing medicine, but can only practice 4 days a week, which he loves to work. This old man loves to work. It's like his passion. And he's super bummed about it. But he proceeded to tell me all of this stuff that had been going on in his life for the last year. And if I had spammed him with, "What do you know about ketones or ketosis?" how dishonoring would that have been to him? But guess what? He's on ketones right now because I knew that there was a need. So I took the time to develop the relationship over the course of the event weekend. And I said, well, I would love to catch up on the phone. You came to my heart. I might have something that could help, but I'm at an event right now. Let's catch up this week. Initial contact versus the delivery of the conversation. Two totally separate things. Totally separate. Keep them separate. Relationship first, then the delivery of the conversation. Y'all got it? Okay. What else? I could literally sit here for like the rest of the night and just keep dropping gold, but I don't want to keep doing that. So people are getting tired. It's late.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Like so much.
Is there anything else specific that I need to touch on that were any other questions about anything specific? Or if there isn't, maybe just if there is, let's maybe just compile those questions. And here's how I can help you guys. So there's a couple things, some more specific skill strategies that I'm going to be equipping you guys with. Really how to maximize your time. How many of you struggle with time management when it comes to this business? Like, just drop in the chat, like, if you do. Like, if you have a hard time juggling life, and if you have a hard time and you're just kind of feeling like all over the place, okay, well, we're going to fix that. It'll be a topic that we do, and I'll make sure that you guys know what day it is. But what I want you guys to do is go to Walmart or go to your whatever, and I want you to get a calendar that has the squares, right? Get a calendar that has the squares. I'm gonna give you guys my calendar training that will legit like change your whole business. Like, y'all about to totally blow up. So I'm so excited about all this. Okay, so just go ahead and buy one. I'll train on how to utilize it so that you guys are fine-tuned machines. A calendar is nothing but a calculator. It's a tracking method for you to be able to track what's working and what's not. So I'll make sure. So grab. It doesn't have to be a fancy, expensive one, like something that you can beat up and that you can take with you wherever. But you want it to be one of the bigger ones because you're going to be writing stuff in your calendar. So, but make sure it's got the squares. And then if you could do me a solid, like if there's any more stuff that, yes, the ketone, Chelsea just asked about so there is the Zoom tomorrow night. So we're going to be doing another guest Zoom tomorrow evening. I'm going to filter through my team too, but here's what I need. I need two people with I need two really powerful product stories, and I need two most recent MVP stories. So Chrissy, if you could kind of dig in through the group and find me a couple stories. None of the better. Okay, work for me. Okay, Aaron, I'll get it for you. I'll post it in the Rhinos group. So I need two MVP stories and I need two powerful. I don't know who I'll use yet because I'm going to ask my team too. Maybe if I can get everybody groomed up effectively on their testimonies, I can do more stories. So I am going to hit on that real quick, because if somebody is on, so I'm going to give you guys a super solid nugget on how to share your story. Okay. Some of you get off on crazy tangents when you're telling your story. Okay. And this is not, please, the two women that were on sharing their testimony last night, Jennifer and Marley, please take this as constructive criticism. Okay. You guys crushed it. First of all, just having the courage to come on and talk in front of 60 or 70 people just is awesome. Okay. So I'm super proud of you for stepping up and stepping out of your comfort zone to do that. I'm going to give you some key things though. When you're sharing your story, be it on the opportunity or be it on the product, if there's anything in your story that somebody would say, who cares to, take it out. And what do I mean by that? I'm going to use Marley as an example. Marley was sharing her story, and Jennifer did this too. When they were sharing about, well, I tried the orange and then I didn't really like the orange. And then, and then I tried the next flavor. And then when I tried that flavor, I was like, boom, I lit up. And then, and then I went and did the little happy dance and do. Okay. So like that, all of that would be like, who cares? Okay. When it comes to your story, right? Because is it more powerful to have 1 or 2 testimonials on a call, or is it more powerful to have 4 or 5 really powerful testimonies that are like boom, 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 right? So it's like, hi, my name is Dawn Allen. I'm down here in Lakeland, Florida. Prior to getting started with pure therapeutic ketones, I was struggling with severe depression and suicidal thoughts. I had some adrenal fatigue and some thyroid issues. My gut health was poor. I was incredibly miserable. I had no energy. I was 30 pounds overweight. And I just saw no hope at the end of the tunnel. A girlfriend of mine introduced me to this conversation. I was incredibly skeptical, but optimistically skeptical. I got started on the product. In the first 10 days, I noticed more energy. I noticed reduced cravings. I lost 6 pounds and 14 inches. And since then, I've been able to lose 60 inches of body fat, close to 30 pounds. My thyroid is functioning. I am not addicted to food, and my life has completely changed as a result of somebody asking me what I knew about ketones and ketosis. Do you guys see the difference in the power of being able to life-threatening condition? So here's the deal when it comes to your testimonials. Okay. First of all, testimonials can be your own personal testimonial. Okay. Secondly, as long as you are not saying Keto OS, and as long as you are not mentioning the company Prove It, yes. Are we representing a company as a whole? Yes, but it's your testimonial. So you're not saying that Keto OS, right? You're saying ketones, right? Which is different, right? We can say that ketones have been scientifically proven to do X, Y, Z, okay? But you're sharing your own personal testimonial, and we're not spamming it all over social media. Like, this is a private, intimate conversation. And so it's a little bit different. We still want to make sure that we're being compliant, but it's prior to, this is how I felt, this is what I noticed, started implementing therapeutic ketones. And what I would also include into your testimonials is I started implementing therapeutic ketones and changing my diet, right? Because that's what happens. We implement the product and we change lifestyle, and these were the results that happened. But my whole story took me less than 60 seconds, and I got the important parts in that make an impact, right? Practice your testimony. How did you feel before? What happened? How long? And then what have been your results? Okay. So I need a couple testimonials for tomorrow night Zoom. And I need a couple of the brand newest MVPs or within the last 30 or 60 days are MVPs that are stepping up and running. And Kelly will put us in a chat. So let's just find out who those are, and then we'll create another chat group for tomorrow night Zoom. And we'll go through that coaching on how to tell your story again. That'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And then we're going to do another just fast start getting, training, a fast start training for all brand new promoters tomorrow night. So with that, guys, man, this has been awesome. I'm sorry that I just kept you on here. For kudos to all of you that legit just stayed on with us for almost 2 hours. I was not planning on going that long, but I do hope that you guys got some value out of this. And if there's anything that you need more equipping on, if tonight was probably helpful, sometimes you need to hear it again and again and again. And so I'll probably hit on some of this stuff over and over again. We did record this. So I'll talk to Kelly about possibly getting the recording out. But if there's anything that you feel that would help equip your team or help equip you better, either shoot those questions over to Kelly or post them in the biohackers group, so that way, like, we've got kind of a formula or a format for these future trainings moving forward, and I can be a little more laser targeted on that. Make sure to get your calendars, and we will see you guys on the Zoom tomorrow. So thank you guys
so much,
for having me on, and thanks everybody for showing up. Have a good night.